Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa will address the nation at 8 o'clock tonight. He will outline steps government is taking to implement the recommendations of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into state capture. Ramaphosa earlier released a statement saying he will be submitting his response to the inquiry's recommendation to Parliament. A date was not given. The final volume of the state capture report was handed over to the President in June. And now, more on what South Africans are expecting from President Cyril Ramaphosa. I am joined by Black Business Council CEO Kganki Matabane. Kganki Matabane, thank you for joining us at eNCA this evening, and thank you for your time. But let's talk about what you'd like to hear as the Black Business Council from the President's address tonight.
Good evening, Aviwe and the viewers at home. Aviwe, you remember we do have a lot of talk in South Africa. So our expectations is basically very simple. We're expecting actions to be taken with the proper deadlines when those actions are going to be taken, because I think we've been fed with a lot of plans, and those plans are not necessarily taking the country anywhere. You see, at the moment, there's so much lawlessness, and I think that lawlessness, part of the contributing factors is that people don't see people who are breaking the law being taken to task and being going to jail. So we're expecting that the president will say, for those cases that have been mentioned in the state capture report, including big businesses that are involved, there will be a deadline that the law enforcement agencies will take action.
All right, now the Black Business Council has always held the view that everyone and all the companies found to have had a hand in state capture must be prosecuted. Is this still your view?
Yes, we are saying we don't want a situation in South Africa where the law seems to be having eyes. We need laws that are objective. We need law enforcement agencies that are objective, that will hold everyone and anyone accountable. So any person who has been mentioned in the state capture report should be taken to task, as I indicated, including those companies that are still doing business with the state, which we were actually surprised that the state waits for government of the United Kingdom, for example, before they can say we're taking you out of the list of companies that are doing business with the South African state. So we are expecting the president to be decisive, to be very firm, so that we can deal with this scourge of corruption in South Africa, and we can take South Africa back to where it was, where people will be law-abiding, people will be scared of law enforcement, and people will be doing the right thing, because corruption basically takes money away from service delivery money that is supposed to go to ordinary people, poor people, black people who are in the majority. So it's important that people are brought to book. Those who can return the money must be returned, so that money can be utilized. South Africans want to see action being taken against any person who's been found guilty by any law enforcement agency. So it's important that we move with speed. I think the movement has been, or the progress has been very, 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 very slow, and frustratingly so. So it's important that once the president has pronounced, we need to have deadlines, but we must also move with speed, because the South Africans are actually tired of actions not being taken by the state. So let's move, let's be firm, so that we can bring back the confidence in the law enforcement agencies in South Africa.
Now, the retired Deputy Chief Justice suggests that nearly every government entity is a site of corruption. How much faith do you have as the BBC in our justice system to see these cases through and successfully prosecute those implicated?
We do have confidence in the justice system. Remember, the capacity of the state was actually done very negatively in the past few years. They've been incapacitated. And I think when President Ramaphosa started, he started by saying, let's capacitate the state. For example, you recall he employed a few people who are supposed to do their work. But I think the challenge is that the progress is very, very slow. And so we just need to make sure that we improve the progress and we move with much faster speed than we've been doing. But we do have confidence. We've got confidence that the law enforcement agencies will do the right thing. But our issue is that we need to have timelines. We need to have speed so that South Africans can start having more confidence in the law enforcement agencies.
And we believe this government has the actual teeth to go after these people, because some believe that reimbursing the state for money stolen should guarantee some slap on the wrist kind of punishment. What's your view on that?
Yeah, our view is that we need to separate between two things. Bringing back the money is one thing, which needs to be done and is appreciated, but that should not be the end. Because if that is the case, that will the law enforcement, the laws will basically be favoring the rich. The poor people who cannot afford to take back the money will end up in jail, and that way you are creating a problem that people are going to think law enforcement agencies is looking at whether you've got money or don't have money. So it's important that we are seen to be objective, we are seen to be consistent, we are seen not to be discriminatory in terms of approaching those who have committed crime. So if someone, for example, steals a packet of sweets in the shops, they can't just say by taking the sweets back, then they are fine. They still have to, because they've committed crime, they still have to account for the crime that they've committed. So the same should happen with big business, that by bringing back the money was not yours in the first place, but by bringing back the money should not be the end. You should still face consequences of your actions. And your actions is that you broke the law must take its course.
Okay, Kganki Matabane, thank you very much for your time. That was Black Business Council CEO Kganki Matabane.